Hello and welcome back to your geography class. Let's start our continuing chapters discussion of the particular topic, and the topic is half of the seasons discussion. As in the previous class we have started the discussion of the seasons, and within the seasons we have discussed about prominently summers and winters, but entire season of advancing and retreating monsoon is yet pending. So we are going to discuss the seasons only, but half of its parts in the terms two seasons. So again the introduction has to be there of the term season itself. The monsoon type of climate is characterized by a distinct unique seasonal pattern that is comprising advancing and retreating monsoon as compared to the rest of the part of the world. And again this is the description with this unique kind of flow chart. So there are four seasons: cold weather, hot weather means winter, summers, advancing monsoon and retreating monsoon. Let me recall, what do you mean by the term monsoon? Monsoon are the rain bearing winds that brings rain to the India mainland, and the rainy season starts in India from June onwards, first week of June onwards. And of course it continues till the last month of November, but it doesn't rain in the entire subcontinent throughout these months or throughout this duration since June to November. So it depends on the regions where exactly the rainfall is going to occur. And again there are the reversal winds concepts also, that also leads to the variation of the distribution of rainfall. So advancing monsoon, the rainy season. By June, low pressure area, low pressure where there are no winds and the humidity reaches up to an extent where it has to rain ultimately. It means the water vapor content in the air reaches its maximum level. Ultimately the precipitation has to occur. So by June, low pressure intensifies. It increases over northern plains because this is the end of the summer season and beginning of the monsoon season, advancing arrival. So this is the time where mainland is extremely heated and high temperature leads to low pressure. You have to remember that formula that I have taught you yesterday. It attracts the trade winds. I have already told you about the trade winds. That was to be the factor for the sailing of the ship in the ancient time whenever they got stuck nearby the equator region. So it attracts the trade winds of the southern hemisphere, and when these are going to cross, means we are talking about the trade winds when they are crossing from the southern to the northern hemisphere. So these southern trade winds arise from warm subtropical area of southern ocean. Told you monsoon winds originate from the southern ocean, passes through entire Indian Ocean and then enters India mainland. So this is the introductory part, but again the language is quite on the book side. They cross the equator becoming southwest monsoon winds over India. Told you now that southwest monsoon winds brings the monsoon or rainfall in India. Again direction, let me tell you. Southwest monsoon winds goes towards northeast direction. So this is the concept, and from the Himalayas they do reverse. Blowing over warm oceans, they bring abundant moisture to the subcontinent because these rain bearing winds, as they are originating from the warm waters itself, and when they pass through the entire southern ocean, Indian Ocean, they do absorb, they do grab lot of moisture, and that moisture gives abundance of rainfall onto the India mainland. These winds are strong and they do blow with the speed of 30 kilometers per hour. So the monsoon winds cover the country in about a month. So almost we can consider that during the month of June itself, it almost rains in each and every part on majority basis. I am not saying each and every part or corner particularly of India subcontinent. I want to state is that majority part of India subcontinent is covered within the first month itself, except extreme northwest area. That's why I told you, na, major part, not the entire one. Moving ahead with this, Remember windward and leeward concept? Yesterday only I have taught you with the help of this diagram itself. So now we are going to discuss the regions that lies on windward side and what amount of rainfall they do receive. Similarly with the leeward side. One more information is lacking. This leeward side is also known as rain shadow region. Rains a shadow, it means by the windward side it rains up to extreme, but onto the leeward sides either it doesn't rain or it rains up to the least amount, very less amount. So it is known as rain shadow region. So don't get confused if instead of leeward we are using the word rain shadow region. Okay, so windward side of the Western Ghats receives very heavy rainfall, almost 250 centimeter minimum we are talking about, and the Deccan Plateau as less vegetation, rocky terrain, flat land. So these are the factors that leads to less rainfall. So Deccan Plateau and parts of Madhya Pradesh, they do receive some amount of rain despite being in the rain shadow region. So Deccan Plateau and Madhya Pradesh lies in the rain shadow region, means leeward side, yet it receives a bit of rainfall or some amount of rainfall. Why so? I have already told you that leeward side do receives either no rainfall or very less amount of rainfall. So this is that part over here. The northeast part of India receives the season's maximum rainfall, and Mausan Ram is the only place that receives maximum rainfall almost throughout the year also. Reason is Mausan Ram is a place located in between the triangular series of mountain ranges that are Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. So it is surrounded by the hills, hence it leads to maximum rainfall. So southern ranges of the Khasi hills, it is exactly situated by this side. Highest average rainfall in the world is received by this region, Mausan Ram. Also, it is reputed, Mausan Ram is reputed, or it is well known for its stalagmite and stalactite caves. Now, what are stalagmite and stalactite, and particularly in the case of caves? So, let me tell you, this is the entire process of the mineral formation from the roof side and from the floor side. So within these caves, stalagmites and stalactites are particularly the process of the mineral formation. Certain type of mineral is formed with the help of the roof. From the roof, these rocky terrain are formed toward downwards, and from the floor itself they are pointed, edgy kind of mineral formation process. So they are formed in the caves within the Mausan Ram region. Rainfall in the Ganga Valley decreases from the east to west. From the east to west part. Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat, scanty rainfall. Scanty means very less, extreme less rainfall. Monsoons often have breaks in rainfall. It means although monsoon has started, arrival of monsoon is there, rainfall had started occurring almost in the major part of the country, but it doesn't rain continuously for entire arrival and retreating monsoon months. No, it doesn't happen likewise because certain breaks comes in between. It means for a particular time or for few days the rain is going to occur in continuation, but after that it will take a halt, pause of few days, few hours, it depends on. Thus, it has wet and dry spells. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's not. That is what calls for breaks. In other words, the monsoon rains take place only for a few days at a time. They are interspersed. They are disturbed, distributed. So, the rainfall is distributed. It means at a particular place, it's not going to rain in the continuity with the rainless interval. So particularly monsoon receives breaks. It means at a time it will give rain for few days at a particular place, but after that it will take pause of few days. Then monsoon breaks. Whatever dry spell comes in between the continuity of the precipitation are linked to the monsoon trough movement. What do you mean by monsoon trough movement? So we are talking about the low pressure area. Within the monsoon season, low pressure occurs. That is why the rain pours or the precipitation occurs. What is low pressure area? Have already stated in the last class. Wherever the presence of high temperature will be there, what kind of pressure will be generated in that area? Low pressure area. Low pressure area, what happens in that particular area? The air comprises maximum water content or maximum water vapors, and it ultimately have to rain. So the throw and its axis, it means the entire low pressure area move from northward or southward for various reasons. It determines spatial. Spatial means scattered distribution of rainfall. It means if the low pressure area is moving toward the southern part, southern hemisphere, so what will happen? Northern hemisphere is going to experience less rainfall, and if the low pressure area, this monsoon trough movement is towards the northern hemisphere, then the southern hemisphere is going to experience less amount of rainfall or less precipitation. This is the entire concept. When the axis lies, when the center of the low pressure lies over the plains, what happened? Rainfall is good in these parts. We are talking about northern plains particularly. But whenever this axis shifts towards or closer to the Himalayas, what happens? Longer dry spells in the plains. Told you northward, southward, whether we are talking about hemisphere or we are talking about the north and south part of India. And over here we should consider the northern part of India and southern part of India. We are particularly emphasizing on that thing. So if this low pressure area is shifted towards or have moved toward the Himalayas, northern plains will receive longer dry spells. Widespread rain occurs in Himalayas. On contrary to that, heavy rains causes floods, damaging life and property in the plains. As in this case, good amount of rainfall is experienced. Okay, one more thing. You must be wondering that I have not taught through this map. So let me tell you what exactly it is showing. It is showing the circulation of the monsoon winds wherever the monsoon low pressure area is occurring. So from the southern tip of India, monsoon winds enter India mainland. It starts raining from the Kerala and it goes up to this extent. You can see 1 July. So it is reaching almost by the Jammu Kashmir side, and over here you can consider till 10th of June it has reached Nepal region, means Himalayas region. So this much is the concern of these maps. Then if we have to move ahead with the same discussion, frequency, we have to talk about the speed particularly and intensity of tropical depression. Now over here depression means cyclones. So what exactly the statement is talking about? Whatsoever amount of rainfall or precipitation is going to occur, that what does it determines? It determines that what kind of tropical cyclones are occurring in that region. As in these tropical cyclones, make sure or did with the help of the study of these tropical cyclones, we can take out an idea that what will be the amount of monsoon rains and what will be the duration of monsoon rains. If these cyclones occurs in the water body itself, these depressions, these cyclones forms in the Bay of Bengal, they are occurring in the water body and they do move towards the mainland. And the depression, again the cyclones follow the axis of the monsoon trough of low pressure. It means cyclones will take place, cyclones will originate in that particular area wherever the low pressure will be there. If the low pressure is on the mainland, it will result in the rainfall, heavy rainfall also. But if the low pressure is generating over water body, it means there will be the occurrence of tropical cyclones. And again these cyclones to bring maximum rainfall, or we can say heavy rainfall, to the coastal areas of India. Why coastal? Because I am talking about the southern narrowing strip of India mainland. Then monsoon is known for its uncertainties. Sometimes means once in a while or every year monsoon season occurs, but every year it doesn't rains in good amount. Sometimes the rainfall occurs in less amount, sometimes rainfall occurs in good amount, heavy amount. So less and good, it keeps on. Alteration of dry and wet spells vary in. So we are talking about uncertainties. So uncertainties comprises three basic features: intensity, speed of the monsoon, less or high, frequency. Again, intensity, we are talking about how much area is going to cover, and frequency particularly goes for the, how good is the speed of the rainfall. Speed, in here we are not talking about 10 kilometers per hour speed, but yes, this term frequency, velocity, these are the certain kind of scientific terms. If you are good at science, I hope you can easily understand that. And duration, for how long the rainfall is going to occur or monsoon is going to sustain on the India mainland. So whatever these uncertainties are carrying the features within it, those features are intensity, frequency and duration of the monsoon season. It causes floods in one region and droughts in another as it moves northward and southward in the northern part of India and southern part of India. So towards the region it is going to move, over there it will be heavy rainfall, and the region from where it has moved, that region is going to experience droughts or less amount of rainfall. It is often irregular. Told you, monsoon is irregular, as breaks are also there in its arrival and its retreat. Along with that, irregularity is found on one more place, as almost it is to be considered by the weather department of India that maximum times or majority times Kerala's which coast? I have already told you there are two coasts, Coromandel coast and the which other coast is there? In the previous class only I have taught you. So basically, although you have to learn that part once again. So coming back to the track, Kerala's Malabar coast. So that is the Malabar coast. So Kerala's Malabar coast receives its first rainfall on 1st of June. But if it is not coming in between 1st to 10 June, it means monsoon will be late. But if it is coming on time, the first rainfall had occurred on 1st of June, it means the India mainland is going to receive good amount of rainfall. It often disrupts farming schedules nationwide because monsoon is a unifying agent for the farmers all over the country, all over the India mainland. As majority farmers depends on to the rainfall for the agriculture part. They do plow their fields, they do get it ready before the monsoon arrival, so that with the help of the first monsoon rainfall, they should sow the seeds and they should start doing their agriculture. But when it gets late, it bothers our farmers, as this thing is shown with the help of this image also. So that was all about the arrival of monsoon. So monsoon plays a role of unifying bond among the farmers, but particularly in the arrival of monsoon criteria. Now we are going to discuss about the retreating monsoon. So the time period is October and November, and the monsoon low pressure trough, it does weakens by the advancing monsoon time period. By the month of October and November, monsoon gets weakened because it has to leave India mainland, India subcontinent, as the sun moves southward. This is gradually replaced by a high pressure system. That is the beginning of the winter season itself. The southwest monsoon winds weaken and start withdrawing gradually from the India mainland. Now they are preparing to leave India mainland. By the beginning of October, the monsoon withdraws from the northern plains, so there will be no further heavy rainfall in the terms of continuity of the monsoon. Rainfall can occur, but the reasons will be individually something else. October, November form a period of transition from heavy to least or no rainfall. So from hot rainy season to dry winter condition as well, because arrival of the monsoon comes just after the summer ends and retreating monsoon comes just before the winters are to start or are to begin. Retreat of the monsoon is marked by the clear skies and rise in temperature. Rise in temperature will be there, but not as it rises within the summer season. So temperature does rises, but not in that count. So while day temperatures are high, nights are cool and pleasant. We are talking about the month of October and November. The land is still moist. Moist, the land still receives or experiences humidity and moisture content within the air. High temperature and humidity make the weather oppressive. It means this is the season of October heat. Within the month of October, whatever heat or whatever high temperature is experienced by the human bodies, that is termed as October heat. Let me erase that part because the line is completely not a line. October heat. So northern India's temperature drops by this time rapidly in second half of October, and that is how the beginning of winter just starts. All the beginning and start both are the same words, but what else to state? You figure out that thing as well. By early November, so that was the period of entire October month. Now we are going to discuss about the month of November. So low pressure shifts from northwest India to the Bay of Bengal. From the mainland it is moving towards the water body, and from wherever these low pressure areas are prevailing, there is the occurrence of certain kind of natural feature. So this feature is the occurrence of the tropical cyclones. So this shift is associated with the cyclonic depression. Cyclonic occurrence originates over the Andaman Sea, because Andaman and Nicobar Islands lies in the Bay of Bengal. So the part by the Andaman is considered over here as Andaman Sea, although there is no specific water body as Andaman Sea. These cyclones cross India's eastern coast and brings heavy rainfall. So Andaman Nicobar Island do receives rainfall with this retreating monsoon part. These tropical cyclones are often very destructive because these are cyclones. Extreme low pressure area develops under these cyclonic circumstances or conditions. Cyclones often hit the dense deltas of particularly peninsular rivers like Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. They do form their deltas by the Bay of Bengal side, by the east side of India, and causes severe damage. Sometimes these cyclones arrive at the coast of Odisha. So Odisha, West Bengal, Bangladesh, these are the eastern sides of India. Although Bangladesh is not a part of India, but still the Odisha and West Bengal are the states of India. The Coromandel coast lies by the Tamil Nadu side, almost eastern side, southern extent state. So the Coromandel coast rainfall mainly comes from the depression, low pressure area and cyclones that originates within the Bay of Bengal itself. So retreat monsoon was not having that much extent of description, but yes, for the arrival part we have discussed thoroughly in detail. So that was all about the season. So we are going to end the discussion of the season with today's class. It's the time to recall whatever we have discussed. So with the help of few questions, here is my first question. Which place holds the record for the highest average annual rainfall in the world? So that place lies in India, and that is Mawsynram. Then what is October heat? It is the hot and humid conditions after the monsoon withdrawal. So for today's class, only 2 questions. I hope that is satisfying your query to take rest, to take pause. So see you soon within the next class with the upcoming topic. What is remaining at the end? I think the unifying bond wala part is remaining. Go check it again, and by then I will take your leave. So till we are going to meet up next time. Take care. Bye bye.